Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Okay. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what we here for, honey. We going to get into the foolishness, all right, of Love After Lockup. And y'all bear with me because I got a freaking killer headache right now. But we going to make it through. We going to make it through. So this is Life After Lockup, Partners in Crime, Season 4, Episode 13. We start out this episode with Lindsay and on Deontay, y'all. Now, Lindsay in here curling up her hair, okay? She's trying to give herself some little, Shirley Temple curls and look like. And her friend is asking her what she doing. And she's like, I want to, you know what I'm saying, look like those pictures that I was sending him. So he's asking where they staying, where they going. She's like, I think he got like an Airbnb, he was trying to stay at a couple of the hotels, but because Lindsay is trash, she done got kicked out of most of them, and she can't be there because of slinging dope out of their rooms, and they ain't trying to have, her in there, all right? Can't blame them for that. Now, I do appreciate the friend asking where you going to be at, where y'all going. I think that's something that we all should always do. Tell a friend, tell a family member where we going to be and what we doing. But Blaine, and I said this since we first got introduced to him, is giving me that he really wants Lindsay for himself. He has a crush on her. She obviously says, that she would never sleep with him. But he gives me, yeah, I'm waiting on the sideline. I'm going to be that friend to pick you up when you fall down, right? When this guy messes up, essentially, I'm going to be the one that's going to be there for you. That's what he gives me at the same time. So, nonetheless, she's talking about how she's really excited to see Deontay. She's looking forward to it. She packing up a bag. She's saying that things have been good. They've been having a great vibe, but she want to see how he is in person, right? And so, he's asking about the friends he see, and she's saying how she haven't heard from Jerry yet. She been texting him. She been calling him. She don't just, know if he's just sleeping. And she was like, Dag, what if I can't get him on the phone? Here go Daggone Blaine talking about, ta-da, who you meeting today? She was like, Deontay. He's like, yeah. She was like, nah, man. Talking about some, this would show how much he really loves you. And she was like, you think he'll do it? She was like, come on, I can't do that. She was like, that'll freak him out. She was like, wow, so nice to meet you or whatever. And can you take me, to bail somebody out or whatever? So she was like saying how she really want this day to be special and want them to be able to hang out with each other. I was scared she even said that, to be honest. Deontay talking about he nervous as hell because he's hoping for the breast and he can't take heartbreak again. He on his way driving there, but he says he follows his heart. We know, Deontay, you follow your heart, baby, but you need to lose that mind a little bit more, okay? And so, he come and he's pulling up or whatever. And as he's pulling up and they in the kitchen, here go Blaine. Oh, do you intend on having sex with this guy? And she's like, hell yeah. She was like, I haven't had none in a minute, honey. I was locked up, so I'm definitely trying to get me some right. I intend to. And she says that she don't count Scott. Okay, maybe I can't blame her for that part. But you could tell, like, what are you asking that for, Blaine? All right. And so Deontay come and he knock at the door. Of course, she jumping all on him, happy to see him or whatever the case may be. She talking about some, oh, he look good. And he so, what she said, he has so much sex appeal oozing out of him. And his, six-pack and built body. She was like, the only thing, why is everybody so daggone short? You know what I'm saying? She thought he was going to be a little taller. But she's like, other than that, looks good enough to eat, okay, according to her. And so, he's saying how happy he is to be there with her in person and all of that. And he's like, are we going to go in? So she brings him in to introduce him to Blaine. And Blaine was just being an asshole. There's no other way to put it. Like, first of all, Deontay is a lot of things, like I said, honey, all right? And he could be a little slow at times, but he also is somebody that served in the daggone military, that's never been arrested, don't got the daggone drug problems and different things that you guys do. And the fact that Blaine was sitting here acting like he was better than him, okay, and like he was trying to, put him down and be funny. I don't know. I wasn't liking that though, okay? I was not here for it at all. He was being a straight up dickhead. And Deontay was like, I don't know if he wants me to be scared and run. And he was like, some people probably would. But basically says, he's not going to do that, all right? And it was like if he was trying to say the worst things and show him the worst things of Lindsay, and it wasn't coming out cute to me. It wasn't coming out the way that he probably intended it to, and at the same time he probably could be saying some real stuff and some true stuff and maybe some stuff that Deontay should actually be thanking him for when it's all said and done. But the way he was doing it, he was just doing it in a way that more so came off as him being jealous, as more so came off, like I said, as if he was better and Deontay was supposed to be low on the damn ground somewhere. And it just seemed spiteful and mean. It didn't seem like a sincere conversation with friends like, yo, she been through this and she been through that type of thing, right? And if I was Lindsay, I actually would have been offended because, like I said, he literally was saying all the worst things about her. And I was like, what is it with so-called friends that y'all be surrounding yourselves with that are saying, the most negative and bad things about you that they possibly can? A lot of shows I've been watching recently, whether it's reality or even in series, I've been noticing situations where as a friend or as a family member that are, just cutting certain friends down. And I'm like, I don't got friends like that. So I just thought that was interesting. Like I said, that was my, take on it, how I saw it. Maybe you guys, have a different opinion. But, she said, let's go ahead and get this over with. And they went in there. And like I said, from the time they came in the door, it just was giving off attitude. At one point, Lindsay even said, like, too much testosterone. I said, I don't think it's that, girl. But Blaine was telling him, like, oh, she's been a partner in crime for me. She's saying to him, Blaine used to sell drugs for me. He was like, so you a queen pin or something? And he was like, she says, he telling him she's never, inflicted bodily harm upon an individual. So Deontay is like, I thought all you did was, carve up somebody's desk. And they, Blaine talking about that's a good day. And so even Lindsay, like I said, is saying, I'm trying to stop Blaine from talking. She was like, just shut up. She was like, I'm trying to give him signals with my eyes. And so I said, no, girl, you can't give him no signals with your eyes. You got to tell him, like, can I talk to you for a minute? Or just come straight out and be like, yo, dude, what the hell? We ain't got no time for no eye signal. But, Deontay is asking her if she ever stabbed anybody. And she basically was like, do you really want me to answer? And Blaine is sitting here like, yeah, are you going to answer that? And so, basically he starts saying, is she worth dying for? Would you die for her? Would you go all out for her? And so that's when, Deontay was like, I don't know if he's trying to scare me or if he's trying to give me a heads up. And that's what I mean. That was the good word for it, heads up. And because it's like, are you looking out for me and trying to warn me about what this person is about? Or like I said, are you just trying to be a straight up behind about it because you want her? And so probably could be a little bit of both, right? Both can be true. Things can be true at the same time. And so Deontay talking about some people would run, but he's not going to do that. He's the opposite of that. And I say, yeah, we know, Deontay, you ain't going to run from the trouble. You going to run to the trouble, okay? And so basically, he start asking her, first, Blaine wanted to know what his intentions was, right? Did he just come down here for a hookup? And Deontay was like, listen, if I was trying to get a hookup, I wouldn't come all the way down to Mississippi, for that, all right? And he was saying he want much more, right? And then he was asking him like, all right, well, if y'all do start something or whatever, would you be moving down here? And Deontay says, I'm going to be honest, that was not, in my head, right? If we did really get serious and we was going to make something out of this, I would prefer she come up to me, right? I got a lot of things that's going on that, I'm connected to or whatever the case may be. It would be a lot harder for me to just pick up and leave all of that behind. And the one thing that Blaine said when he did say that, You know, because he was telling him, I'm not used to this. I don't see people that look like me here. He was like, no offense. I said, Deontay, you ain't got to say no offense. That's Mississippi, baby, okay? So, I'm just saying. And he was like, yeah, I get it. But what I did agree with Blaine with is he was like, you know, she does have her daughter here, and that's a bond that she needs to be fixing. But my thing, Blaine, and I know he did say this to her previously as well, too, but, and nobody really shouldn't even have to be telling her this. This is something that, excuse me, felt that coming. This is something that Lindsay should already know and already be wanting to do. Nobody should have to tell you that your child needs to come first, that you done missed a whole bunch of years because you was locked up. So instead of you being out here chasing behind a daggone man, you should be trying to build that with your daughter now, which you haven't been. You've been worried about running to get your friend bailed out. You worried about, you know, Deontay. Yes, she did have the little day with her daughter and talked to her mom for a minute. And even when she did that, first thing she was doing is pulling out the picture of Deontay. No, sweetie. Focus on your daughter. Focus on fixing that. Focus on building your relationship. But of course, we know that's not what Lindsay thinking about doing. So Blaine sitting here trying to give, you know, Deontay the sob story. That sound good in theory, and it is true, but it's like, if that's not what she want to do, is it really going to make a difference whether Deontay come down here to her or not? Let's be real about it, you know? And of course, Deontay says, listen, one thing, you know what I'm saying, that I can guarantee you, I know her child comes first, right? I would never think that I'm going to be before her. And if that's what it takes, you know, all of a sudden he switches it and he's like, she's important to me too. And I know she got to come first. So at the end of the day, if I love you and I'm serious about you and I want to be with you, then if that's what I got to do in terms of me picking up and coming down here, then I'll do it, you know. And he was like, you know, you're going to continue looking out for her as a brother, then you got to deal with me too, you know what I'm saying, to the death or whatever. So, you know, I'm like, okay, they seemed like they was on the same page at that point, and Blaine didn't have nothing to do but to respect it. And so, of course, you know, Deontay want to go look around the place, and she telling him this is his room, and he was like, all right. He was like, well, where he sleeping, you know, oh, nearby. And then she took him on some, I'm surprised to see this side of Deontay, you know, he want to know what all the stuff is in the damn bathroom. I said, Deontay, okay, you being a little extra now, you know, we all know that he have his insecurities as well. And so, you know, she's showing him everywhere where she keeps her stuff and all of that kind of stuff. And he was saying he's still a little sketchy on that. Okay, he don't know exactly what type of relationship this is and where they going. But, you know, they got had to leave, and she was basically asking him, she asked him rather if he could drive. And he tells her, like, you got your license? And she was like, yeah. So he basically threw her the keys, and, you know what I'm saying, was gonna go ahead and let her drive. But, you know, the last thing he said before he was leaving was, you know, that this relationship seems off. And I mean, he ain't lying. He ain't picking up the wrong thing. But honestly, I don't think it's coming from Lindsay's side. I think it has been blamed all along, okay? And that I picked up that with him the minute that he came and picked her up. But she's made it pretty clear, so she claims, that because he worked for her before, she would never get into a relationship with her. I absolutely see that this man wants more than a friendship with Lindsay, right? So we will be keeping an eye out on them to see where all of that is going to go, honey, because you already know it's going to be a hot mess, and it ain't going to be the way that they think it is, no matter which way, you know what I'm saying, that it goes. And so the next people we had, I believe, was Poppy and Amber, which, to be quite honest, I really do not give two craps about, okay? I do not know why these people are up here. They irritate and agitate my daggone nerves. You know, she's still laying around in the bed and crying. They two on the chairs saying they having a girls' night. You know, Poppy is saying that she don't know, you know, what exactly it is that she has to do. But she know that she has to do something, right? And that she's about to change. And it's sad because really Poppy looked like she's still using some drag on drugs. She looked like she's doing more than drinking. She does look depressed. She does look out of it. And she says that everybody that sees her, because of course Amber was like, you know, I just hate seeing you like this. You look so sad. You look down. You look bad. You don't look like you're happy. And she was like, yeah, I'm hearing that all the time. And I know when I look in the mirror, I see it and all of that kind of stuff. And so, you know, she basically starts saying she needs more answers as far as his, you know, wife goes. She was like, you know, she's been known that he was married. So she was like, am I my side bitch at this point? I don't know what I am. You know, she says it's like joint custody of having a man. I said, really, girl? I would have been clear on that already, okay? And she says she hopes Eric is the one. Is like he's a different person when she's with him and all of this stuff. So when she starts to cry, of course, they all want to hug on her. And, you know, they're like, you know, is she still in the picture? Do she be giving him a hard time with him? You know, with, I guess, giving him a divorce? And she's saying, yeah. And so they want to kind of shift the, you know, the attention, right? And I guess lighten up the mood. And one of the friends bring up like, well, you know, let's talk about you then. You know, let's get off the Poppy situation. What's going on with you, Amber? We heard you got 3 boyfriends. So Amber out here getting busy, you know. Amber started laughing and she talking about, you know, uno, dos, tres. And she's laughing or whatever the case may be. And she was like, well, you know, Poppy says, who's the third? I only know about 2. So she's like, oh, TC. Okay. And she's basically saying how, you know, that she's met TC or whatever the case may be. He's real cool. You know, she was like, we haven't talked lately, so I haven't had a chance to tell you about it. So she was like, you got a whole boyfriend? She was like, you know, that's funny because they was all laughing. And she was like, listen, it concerns me, you know what I'm saying, that you would sit here and saying you have a boyfriend and I haven't heard nothing about him. So Amber tells this story how she went to this concert and, you know what I'm saying, it was basically like, I think it was somebody bothering her, whatever the case may be, or somebody that she really didn't want to be bothered with that was trying to talk to her. And she was like, you know, he basically came up and saved her and the rest was history. And she said, you know, the friend says, they only been together about a month and she already says, you know, that they already saying I love you and it's been a month. So Amber was saying no, it's actually more than a month. And then the friend was asking her like, do you love him? All right. Are you saying that you love him? And she was like, well, what I will say is he is the most genuine person that I've ever dealt with. So simple, a simple guy that I've ever been with in my entire life. And I would have never thought of giving him a chance, but I'm so glad that I did. And so here go Poppy. Oh, simple and genuine man, you know. And she was like, yeah, meaning that he works hard. He lives a simple life. He literally goes to work, works hours every day, you know, comes home, takes care of his business. He works all the time or whatever the case may be. And she says in the confessional that this could be the one, right? And then she's looking at Poppy and she's like, are you mad? Because, what is going on here? Because Poppy's whole attitude changes again and she's laying back down and looking all sad and pitiful or whatever. And she's like, bitch, what's going on? She was like, she's mad. And then she's like, yeah, I'm mad because I'm just finding out that you've been with him. And she was like, you can't possibly love him because I didn't know he existed, so he's not that important. And so all of a sudden, Amber talking about, I gotta pee, I gotta pee, I gotta go to the bathroom. I don't think she had to damn pee. I think they were just, you know what I'm saying, going through their moments, because we gotta remember that they be messing with each other too, okay? Or they have messed with each other too, of course, in the past. And, you know, even though they try to be like they got these boyfriends now, whatever, Poppy always seems to come back and, you know, getting her feelings where Amber's concerned. And so even when Amber goes in the bathroom, her friend asks, like, are you still in love with Amber? And Poppy over here talking about she don't know. Poppy don't know what the heck is going on, okay? So she was like, but that's not gonna be real or whatever the case may be, right? As far as Amber and this guy. And so to me, Poppy don't need to be worried about honestly being in love with Amber or Eric, okay? She needs to be focusing on herself and her sobriety and getting herself together and staying out of trouble. But, you know, we all know That's not the way it be happening. So when we had saw Poppy again, it basically was a thing of like, ever since Eric, drove off and was in his feelings and had an attitude, he was never coming back. She didn't know where he was. She was worried about that, didn't know where he went and all of that stuff. He just up and disappeared like he was cast by the damn ghost. And he finally came back and she was just laying there and so happy. And, basically just says to him, why do I love you? And gonna talk about that she's always putty in his hands and all of this stuff when he comes back. I say, yeah, girl, that's why he's gonna continue to have his little wife and have you too, because you're not setting up no ground rules. You're not, making any type of, well, this is what it has to be. This is what I'm expecting from you. This is what I want from you. This is what we got to do if we're going to be together. You just playing along with it and going in his hands like putty. So as long as you continue to do that, you're going to continue to get what you've been getting, okay? Next couple was Chaz and Bradwin, y'all. Another couple that don't need to be up here, that is completely wasting each other's time. Some kind of way, Chaz plans got delayed. He was so upset. He's like, I'm going to write this person. I'm going to send an email to that person. I can't believe this. You know what I'm saying? I can't make it to you. I'm not going to get there the time schedule that I wanted to. And so Brandon is basically saying, it doesn't even make sense for you to come. Why don't you just postpone it? She was like, that means that cuts the time that we're going to be able to spend together. And you're going to have to hurry up and go right back, you know what I'm saying, to where you came from. She was like, if I was going somewhere and I knew that I wasn't going to get that full amount of time, then I wouldn't even go. Now, on the one hand, I could understand what Bronwyn is saying, but on the other hand, I feel like Bronwyn is full of crap. I feel like Bronwyn has always been full of crap. I feel like nothing about Chaz does she want, and she's gonna sit here and use that as an excuse. He was saying something about all the computers had went down and they had to push back, the flight. And she was like, he was saying he was so pissed off or whatever, and he wanted everything to be nice and intimate and romantic with her. Meanwhile, her friends is there, they're blowing up balloons, making different things, because this was supposed to be a birthday celebration for him. And so, they're making faces, kind of laughing and putting sad faces and whatever else on while they're talking, her friends in the background. And so, like I said, she's over here saying, well, I wouldn't even bother in all of this. So, he was basically like, he still wants to come and he still wants to be able to spend the night with his wife. So now when she get off the phone, the friend is laughing. Oh, he sounds like a little bitch. I don't know. Some of these people, child, like I said, be careful with toxic and negative people, honey. You can't expect for you to change in your environment when you're coming out of jail and then you're going around negative people. And even if you wasn't in jail, don't go around negative people, y'all. But nonetheless, he kept calling back and forth and saying that it had got pushed back, right? And he was really frustrated, and that's when he wanted to send the nasty emails and all of that. And that's when she was just saying, why don't we reschedule it? At this point, it's really not going to make much sense. You know what I'm saying? How much time are we going to get together? And, he said even if it was for a few minutes, he didn't give a damn. He wanted to be able to see his wife. But she was saying she would get her money back, she would replan, and not continue the trip. And so on one hand, I could see where she was coming from. But on the other hand, I feel like, Bronwyn, you really didn't want to see him anyway. And you probably feeling relieved, like, good, it didn't work out. He's not going to be able to come, because at the end of the day, you so worried and scared about having sex with him because you're continuously saying how you can't have sex without being drunk. And one of the other friends is laughing. Ooh, he's expecting sex, And she was like, probably. And you're seeing that she does look like she's sad and she's down or whatever the case may be. And it's almost like the friends is excited that, is going wrong or whatever the case may be. And to be honest, they all look like they sitting in there doing some type of daggone drugs, okay? When Bronwyn be talking, I don't know if it's just me, if nobody else is hearing it, but her damn words be slurring, left and right. And so they was basically saying to her, like, oh, do you want to just cancel as far as the park, because remember they were supposed to try to hang out or take him out somewhere too, and she was like, no, she was like, I really wanted him, to meet you guys. That was supposed to be a part of it too. I wanted him to be able to meet y'all, I wanted y'all to be able to meet him. Of course, she still was talking about she's super nervous. She don't know if she's gonna be able to do it with him. She's not super sexual when she's sober. I said, girl, don't got nothing to do with you being sober. You are just not attracted to this man and you don't want this man. And the fact that y'all keep wasting freaking time is just crazy to me, okay? You should not have to be drunk out your damn mind for you to be able to have sex with this man, or high out your mind. It should not have anything to do with that, honey. So the fact you keep trying to say that is really bonkers to me. But of course, he's so happy and excited. It's just such a different contrast, of course, between, seeing her when she's talking and looking so sad and down and pathetic, and him, just being super excited and happy and looking forward to seeing her, and he was such a good sport when he finally did get there. She's telling him she got a surprise for him. He's all smiling and happy, and he's like, oh, I hope it's a good surprise. And he comes in and they got the cake out, they got balloon out, they got card out, and they like, surprise, happy birthday. And he's just, smiling, and they're like, yeah, we have a lot of questions. And he's like, okay, bring on the questions, So like I said, he was being a very good support about it. And the friend just basically starts breaking down, hysterical, talking about, I'm so sorry, let me apologize. I don't mean to be this way, but it's really hard on us, And I said, girl, this ain't questions, okay? This ain't questions. This is you crying and telling him how much you're gonna miss him, miss, Bronwyn, how much he's taking her away from y'all. Y'all really want her here. Y'all want her with family. My thing is, that's not for you to really be saying to him as soon as you are meeting him. Like I said, thank God he was nice about it. And he was like, I get it. It's okay. This is your friends. I know y'all care about her. And if y'all care about her, then y'all should want the best for her. He was like, this is what she told me she want. So I'm like, why haven't you been saying this to her? Why aren't you breaking down crying with her that is your friend? And even Bronwyn was like, this wasn't supposed to go away, go this way, like, this is awkward. And she's like, let me take him outside for a minute, let us talk, or whatever the case may be. And so, they go ahead and they step outside, and she basically apologizes to him for it. And he was like, no, it's not a problem. I get it. These is people that love you and care about you. They're, your friends. I can appreciate that. And, he's talking to her and saying, listen, you said you wanted to make this step. And if you don't want to make it, I need to know if things is changing or whatever. And he basically says that he is now getting nervous because he don't know, if basically her thoughts has changed on this and she's not going to come no more. And he's like, this could have a big impact on what they had plans and what he thought the relationship was going to be with them and their marriage. But Chaz, honey, I feel like you've been living in a damn bubble anyway. Even whether she move or don't move and all of that at this point, to me, doesn't make a big difference because the girl don't want you. And it's like, if he got his blinders on when it comes to that, and he just want to, in his head, make it seem like, everything is going to be good. So that was that with them, y'all. Taylor and Chance. This was sad. This was sad. This broke my heart, and this also pissed me off. We see Taylor, and she's talking about how things can get hard, things can change, things can get very overwhelming. And initially, I thought she was talking about something with Chance. I said, now, what Chance behind them did now? But it wasn't. She actually come to find out daggone Bobby relapsed, y'all. Oh no, Bobby. I hate to hear that. I really do. I hate to hear that. And she was basically going on this drive. And we didn't know where it was at first, like I said, because she just was saying it's really hard with everything that's going on right now. I'm like, what's going on, girl? She was like, it really could get emotionally overwhelming, And I'm like, okay. And, she says, everything was going good. We were all happy. And then all things just started falling apart. And we see her basically drive up, because she was saying it's hard trying to tell someone that you want them to change for the better, and then they don't want it for themselves, right? There's nothing that you really could do about that, and there's nothing that you could do from them stopping them from doing what they want to do. So I'm like, yeah, girl, that's true. So we see her go in this, facility. She got some flowers and stuff with her in a bag. And she says, I'm Taylor. I'm here to see Bobby. I'm her sister. And the people basically was like, well, I'm sorry you can't see Bobby right now, but you can leave this stuff and we'll give it to her. And she's like, tell her that I love her and I'm thinking about her. So when she get back in the car, like I said, we found out Bobby relapsed. And I'm like, no, 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 Bobby. No, Bobby. Like, that really did make me so sad to hear that. And she says, one day she was okay and the next day she just basically had changed, I guess, right? And that she didn't see it coming. And I really want to watch my words carefully. She was saying Bobby relapsed in her living room and she just wouldn't wake up or couldn't wake up or whatever. She was like she had turned all blue. She had basically fell asleep and then couldn't get up. She was like purple and blue or whatever. And she was just like, saying how much it scared her and things like that. And she was like, it's hard because it's my system. And it also feels like, I didn't choose this life and I'm not into those kind of things and all of that kind of stuff. And it's heartbreaking because I really want to fix her, but you can't fix people. Now, like I said, I want to choose my daggone words carefully because she's 110% right. You can't fix people. She's saying how she feels guilty because she feels like she's part of the reason why she was depressed and everything. And with Chance being there and her getting the room in the garage and all of that, and maybe she was just used to being close to me. And maybe it feels like I pushed her out. Or maybe it feels like she didn't have a place anymore. I don't know. You don't know? I think you know. And I really want to be careful because like I said, I know all about, addiction. Whether it be from studying in college, working with it, and having friends and family that have succumbed to it at different times in their life. And she's 110% right. You can't choose for nobody. You can't choose for nobody. You can't make nobody want to be better no matter what the situation is. Everybody is going to do what they want to do when it's in the end. You could give them, your opinion. You could want the best for them. You could try to help them in multiple different ways. And sometimes none of that works. And so that's very valid. That's very true. But you also know that if it's somebody in that type of situation, another thing you don't want to do is bring a freaking unknown damn convict from out on the street that y'all don't know, disrupt your whole household, not only around your sister who has a damn drug problem and has been in jail her damn self, but around your freaking little girls, Taylor. And you talking about you didn't see the change and you didn't know what happened. We saw the damn change the last time we saw Bobby on the screen and we didn't even get to see her that long. Literally, Bobby looked damn defeated and over it because before Bobby was standing firm saying, no, I'm not going in no garage. No, you're not taking over. No, I see what you're doing. You trying to push me out of here. She basically was like, okay, well, if you fix it a certain type of way, then I'll go in. By the time they showed her last week, and that was only a couple of freaking scenes, a couple of minutes or whatever, Bobby looked over it. She had given up and she basically was like, yeah, okay, don't matter. It's holes in the wall. It's stuff sticking out the wall. The ceiling look like it's going to fall on my head. But I'm going to go ahead over here and lay on this couch in the garage that you said you was fixing up that looks like shit. Oh, I hope you and the girls having fun at the dance. She was showing you signs then. And I really don't want to freaking be mean or blame, Taylor, but Taylor, whew, girl, I need you to think more about yourself, your kids, okay, and your sister. And if your sister can't get it together and she needs to be in a place to help her and facilitate her and she needs to be away from you and your kids, that's fine. But the fact that there was a conversation that went on later, honey, we gonna get to that in a minute because, baby, they had my blood boiling. They had my freaking blood boiling. So anyway, she was sitting in the confessional crying and she's, taking time, sitting on the side of the road for a minute, before she drive off to go back to the house or whatever. And she's just feeling sad because, I don't doubt that Taylor loves Bobby. Okay, or that Bobby loves Taylor. You can see the connection and you can see that they really care about each other. I'm definitely not trying to make no argument about that or say that she don't want the best for her sister and all of that stuff, or say that this has not been really hard on her. But it tickets me off how she puts Chance above everything. This dude walked in the door from the gate, wasn't even in the house 5 minutes, and was already like, yeah, I'm gonna need your sister to get up out of here. I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna change that, I'm gonna change the other. You don't get to come in my freaking house and make changes. You don't get to disrupt nothing between me and my sibling, nothing between me and my child. You just don't. I'm sorry, whether you came out of damn jail or not. Just me as a person in general, I never brung no dudes around my son when he was little, when he was growing up. They did not see him. If I wanted to go out and get a date, if I wanted to go do whatever, that was my business. I went outside and did it. I did not bring them back to my house. So I just got a problem when I see these people up here on this freaking Life After Lockup 90 Day. They all do it. And you don't know these guys, and you're bringing your little kids around them. Like, I don't trust this man. I don't like this man. I don't trust him around the little girls. He just gives me that creep type of vibe. So it makes my blood boil. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm out of pocket. Maybe I'm picking up the wrong vibes. But that's how I feel. And as she drives up to the daggone house, he's basically like, oh, well, what took you so long? What happened? What was holding up the things? And she's like, nothing much or whatever. And he basically says, you know, when Bobby OD'd, it was too much. It was, you know, I helped her stay alive till the ambulance got here. I don't know whether he did or he didn't. But for some reason, I just feel like that's bull crap. You know, making himself into a hero, but at the same time want to be a victim because, you know, Taylor was trying to find a reason, and sometimes there is no reason. Let's be clear about that too. Sometimes there is no reason at all, even though you want it to be some type of reason there. And basically, you know, he was saying, do you think it's my fault? She was like, I don't know. She was like, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, she made her choices or whatever. And so here he go. He had to flip it. He couldn't even give her a minute to be in the moment that her sister just could have died. She could have been doing her funeral right now instead of her being in the facility. He had to turn it into, well, you know, I'm sorry about what happened with her, but at the same time, mind you, he want to say he's done drugs too. He's done cocaine. He's done heroin. He does methamphetamines. He had a blue face. He almost died. So you understand and know very well what this is, right? And he was in a dark, cold place. But then he flips it and he's saying to her, well, you know, I'm sorry about what happened, but, you know, I could have went to jail for this. My thing could have been messed up about this. He went from being the so-called hero to all of a sudden being a victim and saying, you know, they could have showed up and put a gun in my face and threw me out. As much as I want us to stick by her, we can't really have stuff like this around us, obviously. You know, we can't have stuff like that around me and around the kids. We got to protect our family. So when it's all said and done, he is getting what he originally wanted to get. He's being able to isolate her, be there with her by herself, get rid of Bobby like he always wanted to do, and just be there with her and her damn kids, you know? And talking about all this hard work and dedication that he poured into the kids that could have been gone in one moment. What damn hard work you done did with the kids, Chance? I don't trust this man, you know, and at the same time, she's saying that the kids could have been taken away from her. She could have lost everything. She could have lost her sister, the kids, Chance, and her house. And I get that part. And I'm not saying that she does not have a right to be upset, mad, angry, and feel every other emotion under the sun. In terms of that, but guess what, sweetie? You got a freaking perpetrator sitting right next to you that you keep trying to close your eyes and be blind to, and he may damn well be the one to make you lose your freaking kids and family and your sanity and your damn house, okay? Because I believe that he definitely did have something, partly at least, to do with why your damn sister is lost and sitting up in that facility right now. He was going to make her get the hell up out of here one way or another. And with you knowing the type of situation that she was in, for you to sit there and purposely put her in an environment that you knew was toxic and negative and stressful, that's a hard one for me, honey. She still had to make the decision for herself. Don't get that part twisted. But that's a hard one for me. I'm giving you and freaking, Taylor and Chance decide. I didn't like that conversation and how he switched it around and made it all about him and all of that bull crap. We get to Marcelino and Brittany, y'all. Another couple that don't need to be up here. I didn't even mean to spend this much time on this, so I'm gonna try to hurry up and finish this last bit. Marcelino and Brittany basically are coming in, they're talking, he's still giving attitude. One minute he want to be nice, the next minute he want to have a freaking attitude. He's saying he gonna put the kids to bed. Then we see that he has her mom come through and says that he's going to run errands. At one point she thought he was going in the back to do some type of work on the garage. And basically he says he want to talk to somebody about the marriage or whatever the case may be, right? And their opinion of him, somebody that knows him. And so Brittany's friends come over to her job. They look like they bringing lunch and different stuff with them and saying what's going on. How you doing? What's been going on with the kids? What's going on with Marcelino? So, of course, when they bring up Marcelino, she like, girl, we ain't been having no sex. There's no passion. He treats me like I'm a roommate. Ain't nothing happening, okay? And so Amanda tells her, he texts her. She like, huh? She was like, yeah, the end of January. She said, I tried to figure out whether it was the both of y'all together or whether it was just him. I wasn't sure. And, Brittany is like, are you freaking kidding me? And then she's like, no, I'm dead serious. She's like, can you show it to me? Do you still have it? When was this? She's like, oh, basically from Instagram. And so Marcelino, apparently, when the friend reads it out loud, he texts her, y'all, supposedly, because I feel like they pulling these stories up out their ass. I don't even believe none of Brittany and Marcelino storylines half the time, but we gonna play along with it like it's real. He says, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a lightweight offender. I thought I put it down good enough for you to come back. And she says, I've been dealing with a lot with my mom. And his answer to that was, I'm sorry, I'm sure the world is on your shoulders, but some good dick would help you with that. And Brittany gets pissed, says she's pissed at both of them, but mostly Marcelino, and they will never come back from this, and Amanda's telling her that she's loyal to her, and she's like saying if she is loyal to her, then she should have been telling her the truth all along and letting her know what happened, whether she thought she knew or not. That's why I say this story sounds like it's being pulled out of butts, y'all. It don't even sound real to me, but nonetheless, if it is real, Marcelino is crazy as hell because remember in the confessional he said the whole story of, I might as well not even been there. It seemed like my wife was more into her. So why would you still be texting this girl on the side to be like, I'm offended, I thought you would want to come back and my dick is good, and why would you be trying to offer her dick when she's saying something is wrong with her damn mother? Now, that part I could kind of believe because some of these men do be out here thinking that fixed every damn thing. So, I'm just like, I don't know. Seriously, y'all? Okay, that's what we gonna go with? Okay. Then we move to Destiny, freaking Sarah, and Sean, y'all. I'm just gonna talk about all of them as a whole. They all a hot mess. You got Sean still bull crapping, not telling the truth with Sarah. He's asking, No, first we actually had Destiny in the store with her friend, right? She's like, this past year has been chaotic. After she got married, she went to prison, and then when she got out, they basically split up. She says she knows that, Sean is going to give her money, right? And even the friend was saying, why don't you just let this go? Why don't you just get over him and move on, right? Oh, no, it's not about getting over him. Now, the reasons why she claimed that Sean owes her money, she claims she had put in a piece of, that car that they had that he took back. Then she says he originally told her he was going to pay $15,000 or $10,000, whatever it was, for a wedding ring, and she never got that. And then she's like, oh, he should just owe me money for me being with him. It don't work that way, freaking Destiny. Grow the heck up, yo. And she's over here keep bringing up, yeah, he's getting married, and what if I go to this wedding? And the friend was like, what if you just don't? And she was like, how did you find out his number and all of this anyway? And of course she starts, laying out her laundry list of arrests of when she's been arrested for and what she's good with. And she says, that's basically how she was able to get his number. And she talks about crashing this wedding and whether she can find out the information for it. She's like, let me see if he put anything on social media. Basically find Sarah's social media, okay? and how she's 5 days, countdown to whatever, and she tagged the place that she was at, and so she's like, oh, now I know where it's gonna be at or whatever. And she was like, when they say, does anybody have, I'm saying, anything to say, like, when they say, anybody have any reason to object, she could be like, yeah, he owes me money or whatever. And it was just ignorant, y'all. And I like, at the same time, they going back and forth and they showing this conversation between, Sarah and Sean, and he's telling her how he wrote more vows than her, okay? So supposedly his love is supposed to be more. She's like, that doesn't matter. And he asked her how the day went with her sister, and she was like, well, it was cool. It was actually nice, but she was like, it seemed like, she was kind of asking me questions to see how much I knew or didn't know, and like if I should be asking more questions, and it's things that's being hid. So if there's anything you need to tell me about, speak now or forever hold your peace. And he was like, actually, I do need to tell you something. He tells her that Destiny call, but he's still making it seem like she's locked up when he know her ass is out. And it's like, tell her, what the hell are you holding it for? Like, he's such a freaking kid and he's so stupid. So in the meantime, she keeps being like, well, how did she get the number? He's like, I honestly don't know how she got the number, because apparently he had changed his number. He's like, she's always getting it. She was like, and she's locked up. She's like, she ain't no damn type of special investigator or anything like that. So how she just getting it? And she says, basically, if this bitch shows up at my wedding, it's gonna be a damn bad day. I said, Sarah, you ain't begin to know what a damn bad day is yet, girl, okay? And so now that's supposed to be the whole game plan for Miss Destiny to show up at, they wedding and mess everything up for them, okay? And I'm just like, child, y'all really gotta get some better stuff going on, because that makes absolutely no freaking sense that you think you just gonna terrorize this man and he's gonna owe you something. Meanwhile, the last episode, you like, I'm pregnant. Okay, you pregnant, and because just you saying now that you got married, went to jail, came out of jail. So what does you being pregnant have to do with Sean? I'm really, really confused. I'm confused at this storyline. I'm confused why they let her come back up here. I guess they just wanted to be messy and they knew that we was going to sit here and watch it anyway, which is exactly what we doing, because if you thinking about it, it just does not make no sense. Like, what difference does that make at this point? What exactly are you coming here to say? What, you think he owe you money just because you never got a damn ring? You gonna talk about some, mess up her wedding, that he's getting ready to spend this money on her, to marry her, whatever the case may be, and interrupt it and say, he gotta give me my money first. And you think people just owe you? Like, that's not the way life works, son, sweetie. It does not work that way. If it did, we all would be paid right now. But moving on along, the last ones I'm going to talk about is Brittany and Ray. Honestly, I like seeing Brittany and Ray. I'm glad they still together. Interested to see what's going on with them. And I would have preferred to take them and them knocked out Poppy and Amber and Eric and their foolishness. And also Brittany and Marcelino. They could have been gone and Brittany and Ray could have been in their place, in my opinion. But we see Ray getting all dressed up or whatever, and he's saying how he got to go to work. But she's like, really? You going to work like that? You going to be dressed like that and with cologne and all of that? Okay. And she's like, well, let me go ahead and make you some lunch. So he's like, okay. Ray done behind. He leave his daggone phone behind. So, of course, her antennas is already going up. I think she called up her sister and she giving her the breakdown. Like, Ray told me he had to go to work, but, he did not take his work clothes and he basically left his phone. She's like, then we know he not going to work, right? And she's like, exactly. So she was like, I have no reason not to trust Ray, okay? She says things is going good. He's going to school. He's going to work. I said, okay, go Ray. She said, but sometimes it's those outside factors that get in the mix. And she basically was like where them hoes at, okay? I said, now, Brittany, you know damn well. So he got this bottle and stuff. He getting out the car. He fixing up his hair and, pulling up the sweater. I said, okay, Ray. Ray done went over to Brittany's parents' house, y'all. I love it. He said, I needed to come see y'all. I wanted to come see y'all by myself and wanted to talk to you guys without Brittany. They say, hey, Ray, how you doing? You know, it looked like the mother's loosening up because we know what a hard time mama was giving him. So he gave them this drink, this wine, and they was like, well, what's on your mind? Are you coming bringing drinks this early? He said, well, you don't have to drink it now. You can save it for later. And he basically wanted to come to ask for Brittany's hand in marriage. You know, he wanted to get their blessing to be able to marry Brittany, right? See how he feels if he wanted to marry Brittany. And they was like, well, why now? What the heck is going on? You know, what made this change? And he just was basically saying that, you know, it's something he always wanted to do and something he always planned on doing, okay? You know, the mama talking about you came over here with a wine bottle asking for blessings, you know. Then daddy talking about, did you already drink? And he was like, nah, I didn't. I may drink something later. But he said he feels like it's the right time, you know. And he said, I always said I wanted to do this. And I knew even when I messed up and I did all this stuff when I was younger and went to jail and all of that, it made him realize a lot of things, you know, a lot of stuff he overlooked in his life. And he knew that when he found the right person, he definitely wanted to settle down. And he feel like that right person is Brittany, and he want to spend the rest of his life with her, you know. And the mom is telling him, like, it's in good times, it's in bad times, they're financial times. She was like, you know, y'all could go through a lot financially, especially with him in this restitution. You know, he says he's been working, he's been putting payments down. They was like, yeah, we excited and we proud of seeing you holding a steady job, you know what I'm saying? That is great. And so he was like, you know, every week or every month, whatever it is, he's been making his payments regularly. He knows how important that is. He's staying on top of it or whatever, you know, so that he don't get behind. And, you know, he has, of course, $140,000 in restitution that he got to pay back. And so mama is worried that with Brittany marrying him, that would come on her, you know. But he says he have a good job and he work a lot of hours. And he was like, he really want to buy Brittany the ring she deserves. And, you know what I'm saying, do what he got to do for her. And she says, well, marriage is a huge step. And, you know, he's like, absolutely. She was like, but my opinion is that you guys are consenting adults, okay, and y'all can make your own decisions. So she was like, it's okay with me. I'm going to go ahead and give my blessing. I said, what? Mama giving blessings? Okay, mama. Now, daddy is the one that surprises me because daddy said, listen, I appreciate you coming over here, but I'm going to have to reserve my blessings. I got to see some things first. I want to know that she's in a stable relationship. You know, that everything could be handled as a father. This is something you want to know. You know, he says, you know, Ray is telling him that's the goal, and he was like, I want to make sure, you know, that she is making the right decision because this is a lifelong thing. And he said, that's my baby girl. It's hard to let go of my baby girl. He was like, you know, you don't understand right now because you don't have kids yet. But, you know, daddy saying he worked hard to raise his two girls or whatever the case may be, right? And so he says, I don't want him to feel like he could just come in and make changes. So that took me a little bit for a loop. You know, he said it's pretty heavy for him. So Ray was like, I understand. I respect that. I appreciate you or whatever the case may be, right? They all seem to leave on a good note. And Ray says, I didn't expect, you know what I'm saying, Brittany's dad not to be the one to give my mom. He was, give me his blessings, whatever. He was like, I didn't expect that. He was like, I thought it was going to be her mother. And he said, I'm not sure what to do. And I'm with you, Ray. I didn't see that coming. But listen, Ray, hang in there. Don't give up, boo. All right. This is the couple that I'm rooting for out of all the couples. I'm hoping that everything go good. But that was Life After Lockup, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all thought about this episode. Put it in the comments. Y'all know how we do. Let's discuss. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you are so inclined. All right. Till next time. Toodaloo.